tell me a little bit about the genesis of this book and how it came about and how we landed here?
Yeah, we'd love to. Well, so, Mark and I are just so blessed to meet so many cool people in the world, honestly, all around the world. And what we noticed is there are so many talented people, like so smart, so talented, but they are really falling short of their ability. And so we have this hour every morning that we spend in prayer and meditation. And we started asking each other one day, because we do a lot of questioning of each other, because we always use questions to find the direction we think we're supposed to go. That's how you do it, right? So we said, what is it about these people who are just as talented really as these other people who are achieving great success and, money success, success in relationships, but they just keep falling short. And we decided if you had to bring it down to one thing that we could teach people, that is people who are masterful at being successful are also masters at asking. And those two go hand in hand. And like Mark said, we determined there were actually 3 channels through which you need to learn to ask. And that is ask yourself, ask others, and ask God. And each of those channels is equally important. You need to learn to deploy each of those channels so that you can start to move your life forward in the direction of your destiny. And that's why the subtitle of our book is the bridge. It's called Ask, and then it's the bridge from your dreams to your destiny, because we all have these amazing dreams in our hearts, right? Everybody has these wonderful ideas and dreams and passions, but the only way you can start to unlock those is to go on that journey of curiosity, of inquiry, asking your way forward and finding those answers that'll take you to the next step and the next step and the next step. And when you start to do that, it is truly magical. You will start to go, wow, look how far I've come just because I asked the questions, answered the questions, and acted on those answers.
Oh, God, I mean, so true. And, it reminds me. So I had an interview the other day. Do you guys know who Greg Reed is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've known Greg for a long time.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, he's great. And we had an interview the other day, and I'm sure his whole, I feel like he could have written a similar book. His whole thing is, look, get rid of everything else, just networking, ask, be bold, like approach. And it really, like, I knew that in the back of my mind, and reaching out to people like you that I would have never done in the past, and now because I've evolved to who I am now, I realize like that's such an important component, just asking, right? Like, I asked you and you said yes. And, he's all about, asking certain people that can help kind of find synergy and build momentum. Either they help him build momentum, they build it together, or they help him and then he helps them in another way, right? The whole pay it back. And so that ties in, I feel like, totally to what you guys are saying. And a big message that I put out, which is always, asking in terms of looking introspectively and shining a spotlight on your life, right? Asking yourself, like, okay, who am I? What do I want? Where do I want to go? What's hurting me in life? That's part of my whole 5-core system. Like, you shine a spotlight in each core and you say, okay, what habits have I built that are killing me? And which ones do I want to replace in each core? And that sounds like that's a big part of what you guys are doing as well, the introspection.
Yeah. So networking is really it. And I say your network creates your net worth. And you've got to start deciding, just like Shakespeare did, all of life's a stage, his line, and who are the walk-ons? Because most of us get sucked into our walk-ons and don't understand their main players that can change your life. Like, I'll just give you an example. We're doing all these podcasts, and this is our second one with you, and you're the only one we've done 2 with now, I think. Maybe one other person, but we did 2 with Scott Carson. I don't know if he's Scott, but he said, look, everybody, there's hundreds of thousands of you listening to Mark and Crystal right now, and I want you to think about who that's depressed, despondent, disconsolate, or going to commit suicide because they're locked down in COVID. But what I want you to do is I want you to go out, not buy one of Mark and Crystal's books at Amazon, but I want you to buy 10. I want you to give them to those people. And then I want you to go to, we have a free book club now called askthebookclub.com. It's free, and we're going to create everyone to be master askers. And I was blown away because I'm used to asking, boldly, to sell 500 million books. I had to do that. But now I'm blown away that other people are asking if they can help us sell books. And it goes, wow, it is actually the ripple effect, the reflected glory coming back. And it's working, and everybody needs to understand this value circle now, that, you know, you've got to ask yourself what you want to do. What are you passionately purpose about? And then ask 10 of your friends to write up what that is. What would you love to do? Because half the people are going to be unemployed going forward. And then in the triangle, what can you make substantial, a whole lot of money? Because if you're going to work, you only got one life. This is no dress rehearsal. So you got to ask yourself, what would I love to do? And we love doing these podcasts. We love talking to awake, alive, enthusiastic, tuned in, turned on people like you. And obviously that's kind of people you attract. And that's why our books, you know, the book started out, the publisher called and said, I could ask you guys if, you know, COVID shut down the book industry. There's no more bookstores. You're only going to be able to sell on Amazon. Do you want us to push back? And we said, no. We want to go forward with gusto. And, you know, you start out at 867,000 on Amazon, and now we're climbing the charts. And we're one of the 4 fastest selling books of our publisher, not the whole industry, but our publisher so far.
That's it. And that's what it's about, you know. And I mean, you guys are basically, you know, because of what, I mean, you're such a good example of when you get to a certain level in life and you've helped enough people and you've done enough good, that law, I call it the law of reciprocity, which is basically exactly what you just said. There's a lot of ways to skin the cat, but it's, you know, what goes around comes around, do unto others, but it comes back. And anybody that has given and has done it and has given back to the world and to others and asked questions, and they have felt that and they've received it. And it's amazing to me how many people don't. In a way, I'm kind of like, let's just let that be my little secret because it's such a huge advantage in life, like huge. And it's amazing how many people just never do it. Right.
Well, and you know, Will, it's interesting because it's part of that reflective journey that you were talking about just a minute ago. It's the ask yourself part. Like we say, that's where everything starts. You know, the ask yourself, ask others, ask God. You have to start by asking yourself, because it's your reflective journey. Like you were saying, what's working, what's not working. And a lot of times we go, you know, we make our laundry list of things we want. I want this and I want this and I want this. But what Mark and I teach in our course that we're creating now, and we've always taught Ask for Riches, is, you know, it's a value circle. If you're going to ask for riches, okay, what massive value are you giving in exchange for the capital return that you're expecting? And it's interesting when you start to think of it like that, when you start to think, how am I bringing value? And how could I bring more value every single day? And the interesting thing is not only to your personal clients, but bringing value to life in general, bringing value to everyone you meet. It is amazing how in God's perfect universe, it responds to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Call it karma, call it, sowing and reaping, whatever. It's in all of the ancient wisdom traditions and scripture. What you put out will come back to you. So if you're only thinking about half of the circle, like what can I get? What can I get? What can I get? It's not complete. It's like, what are you giving? How are you contributing? How are you changing? How am I, going to make a difference every single day? And when you start to do that, life becomes a lot more fun. It takes a lot of pressure off it. It
Right.
gives massive meaning to what you're doing. Right?
I wish people could just have that implanted from day one, which is part of why I'm on this big kick to revamp it. One of my goals is to revamp the educational system from the ground up.
Thank you.
Love that.
Teaching this, what you just said, to me, I call them, I don't call them, everybody does, but I love the term universal principles. What you just said, like we said, there's a million ways in different languages over different generations, thousands, millions, that people have used the term, what is reciprocity, karma, whatever. But we know it exists, right? It's real because those who have done it have experienced it. And it's one of those intangibles that you're going to get all these naysayers being like, prove it.